Okay guys, back here again with another training. Today we're going to focus in on the 4 appointment setting rules, tips for booking yourself solid. This is going to be a quick call, but I think it's going to be very helpful for a lot of you guys who need a little bit more help, a little more training on the phone side of things, which for a lot of us that's the most difficult part of what we do is scheduling appointments. My belief is this, it's the most important part of what we do, and it's what gets us to the part of the business that I think most of us enjoy the most, right? And that's actually out there visiting with clients, helping people, getting to know people, and look, selfishly, it's where we get the most results. It's where we make our money. Now, we can't neglect that in-home presentation or the part of the business that maybe you enjoy the most by neglecting the phone, right? And that's the precursor to everything. So we need to discipline ourselves on the phone. And I know sometimes that's not easy, but hopefully by learning some of these 4 rules and then some of the other tips, it will help you make the best use of your time on the phone. And the first thing I want to cover is have a goal before you get on the phone and start making phone calls. Don't just blindly go about making dials and hope for the best. Here's what I would say to do. Have a set number of phone calls that you want to make each night, and then just keep little tick marks. I find that a lot of our top appointment setters and our top producers, they're making a lot of phone calls every Monday morning or every Monday throughout the day. They're calling each lead 10 to 15 times. They're calling them at 2 to 3 different points throughout the day, mornings, early afternoons, and evenings, and those are the ones that are resolving the most amount of leads. So keep track of how many dials you're making. I think that's a good barometer of how much activity you're putting on the phone. Have a goal of how many appointments you want to schedule for Tuesday and Wednesday. If your goal is 12 appointments between those 2 days, you know that you're going to want to have 6 for Tuesday, 6 for Wednesday. So maybe that means the first half of Monday your goal is 6, the second half of Monday your goal is 6 as well. And so take a bigger goal, break it down into a smaller goal, and then just put the activity behind it to help you hit that. After that, know the 4 appointment setting rules. These are rules that are very easily broken and very costly if you do. And I always compare it to this. If you were on the second floor of a building and you were to jump out of that second floor window, you're not going to break the law of gravity, right? You're going to confirm it. You're going to confirm it when you hit the ground. So don't confirm these rules. After 8 years and working with thousands of agents, I'm telling you, I know these rules to hold true. The first one being the 48-hour rule. Never, no matter what, book an appointment outside of 48 hours. And I know how easy it is to break that rule. I hear from even really good agents every week. They'll tell me, oh yeah, I have an appointment for next Tuesday. Here's what I'm telling you. That's the exception. And I'm trying to get people to not run their business by the exception. Let's run it by the rules. Here's the rule. Statistically, out of 10 appointments that you book outside of 48 hours, you'll be lucky if 3 of them are actually there. Imagine that. Imagine you get 20 to 25 brand new leads this week. You're excited. There's a lot of opportunity there. You go book 12 appointments. You go book 15 appointments, and you're saying to yourself, surely this is going to be a big week. But because you broke the 48-hour rule, you started booking them for 3, 4, 5 days out. Of those 12 to 15 appointments, imagine only 4 of them you actually present. Of those 4, maybe you close 2 or 3. Your closing ratio is fine, but wow, your presentation ratio, your show ratio is horrible. And it's simply because you broke the 48-hour rule. Now, you might say, hey, look, I used to book my appointments 3, 4, 5 days in advance, and it worked fine. That's okay. What I'm saying is with these resources in this type of capacity, anything outside of 48 hours has a horrible show ratio, and I don't want you guys to waste leads. Just as important, I don't want you guys to waste resources or your time. It's very difficult to get back in front of those clients that no-show you or cause you to, or that you have to reschedule. So the first one, 48-hour rule, stick to that. Monday for Tuesday and Wednesday. Tuesday back on the phone maybe for Wednesday and Thursday. Use Thursday and Friday to book for Saturday. Pretty simple. Number 1, the 48-hour rule. Number 2, no one-legged appointments. If it's a husband and a wife, they both must be there. I sometimes ask my clients, my elderly clients, is there anybody who typically helps you with these kinds of decisions? A son, a daughter, a friend, a neighbor, anybody who usually helps you with these kinds of decisions. If I feel like maybe they aren't totally with it, for lack of a better word, if they need a little assistance, I'll ask them those kinds of questions. Here's the point. Anybody involved in the decision-making process, I want to speak to. I want them there with me while I'm running the appointment, or I want to get them on the phone while I'm with the client. So don't be afraid to ask, is there anybody who helps you with these kinds of decisions? If it's a husband and a wife, absolutely they both must be there. If I show up and just one of them are there, I do not, under any circumstances, do that appointment. I tell them I'll come back when their spouse or son or daughter is there. And then I come back later that day, maybe after my last appointment. So number 2, no one-legged appointments. Number 3, no call first appointments, meaning when a client tells you, can you call me first? The answer is simply no. John, I'm sorry I can't give you a call. I'm going to be out in the field visiting with a lot of other clients. I'm not going to have time to call you just to remind you. I want you to understand that I will be there. I need to be sure that you're going to be there as well. And I need to know for sure that Mary will be there along with you, because if I call you to confirm and you cancel, I'm not going to have time to replace your slot with another family who does need the coverage. So let me just make sure that that we're solid on this appointment. I will be there tomorrow at such and such time. If I'm running more than 30 minutes late, I will give you a call. Otherwise, you can't expect me at that point. Will that time work for you? If not, I can make you a later appointment, or I can make you my first appointment. So I really, guys, solidified that appointment. I really try to lock them into that time. I don't if they ask me to call first, I make it quite clear to them that I'm not going to be able to and that they need to be expecting me at that time. Number 4, never leave your phone number. It's kind of along the same lines as rule number 3. You got to understand that a lot of these clients, it's taken them 30, 40, 50 years sometimes to come to this conclusion that, hey, maybe I should get some coverage for my family. Maybe I should leave my family a legacy instead of debt. Let's not let them get in their own way again by leaving our phone number. Just like calling to confirm, if you leave your phone number, you might as well just go ahead and reschedule or cancel the appointment yourself. Because they probably will. Here's a news flash for some people, right? Caller ID does exist, right? So you're going to get phone calls sometimes from your clients. When you book a lot of them, you're going to get a couple clients who call you to cancel. I would encourage you to still show up. Maybe not at that exact time, maybe later on in the day, but I certainly don't answer the call. Here's what I have found to be true. 80% of the time, people who call you to cancel, they're there. Like I said, either at that time or later on in the day, they're there. So I show up, knock on the door, hey, I was in the area. They say, didn't you get my message? Sorry, I've been with clients all day, but I'll be sure to give you the short version. You're here now, I'm here now. So I don't leave my phone number, and I don't entertain calls when clients called me to reschedule or cancel. Who knows what happens? Maybe they came home from work and just weren't in the mood. That to me is not a good enough reason to skip out on a 5 to 10 minute appointment. I just spoke to them yesterday, right? So it was a good time yesterday. It's probably a good time today. I'm going to show up at the time we scheduled and agreed upon. But don't let them continue to get in their own way by calling to confirm or leaving your phone number or fielding phone calls from your clients on the day of your appointments. Just schedule it and then show up. So again, guys, keep track of how many dials you're making. Stick to these 4 appointment setting rules. Call each lead 10 to 15 times at 3 different periods throughout the day. I also would encourage you to look up any bad or disconnected numbers before you necessarily go out there and do a door knock. You don't have to do all door knocks. You don't have to do all stop bys. You can go to anywho.com and look up phone numbers. There's a lot of different websites out there. But the number one, piece of advice I could give you for this, on booking yourself solid, is put the time in on the phone. Dial quick. Don't waste time on the phone. It's the most important part of what of your work week. Make sure your family is aware of your work schedule. Make sure you are totally committed. Have a landline. Don't call from a cell phone. Have your stack of leads in front of you and have a goal of resolving every single one of those leads by the end of the day. You're not always going to be able to, but I'm sure you'll be able to resolve a lot of them, and then you're going to have a separate stack of leads that you can stop by. And that's how you resolve more leads every single week. That's how you book 10, 12, 15 appointments every week. And not only that, but they're solid appointments because you've stuck to the 4 appointment setting rules. You've got clear and specific directions, even though you may not need them. And you've even gotten them to write down your name and the time that you're coming. So everybody's on the same page. And when you guys are out there away from your own family and seeing somebody else's, it's to help them. It's to do business. It's to resolve leads and guys, and it's to make money. That's what it's all about, helping people, working hard, making money. And I want you guys to make the most out of your time, get the best usage out of your time. Hopefully this helps. Put the time in on the phone, make enough phone calls, and have a goal of resolving every single lead by the end of the week, and you guys will see yourself with a pretty full schedule. Best of luck out there this week. Let us know if you need anything.